Welcome to Sweet Tea Channeling. Today's Sweet Tea Channeling is what feels for us like a really special episode. You might recall that these Zoom sessions were inspired by the idea of creating a book, a channeled book, to be more specific, aimed at helping us all to live in Hoomadhi. Now, in truth, we didn't even know that that's what the book was going to be about, or at least I for sure didn't. I don't know about you, Susan. But as with any living thing, it has morphed, it has expanded, and we are so excited to share some of the things that have been shared with us, mostly through Susan's channeling, to share that with you. So, we have no clear agenda for today, but as you might know from other sweet tea treats, there is the possibility of some channeling coming through, and we will definitely be pulling out some nuggets to share, which means that really everything is from a channeled source, anyways. So we've already opened Sacred Space. We want to remind you to be sure to call in your own guides. If you need to, just pause this video for a second and call in your guides to assist you and help you pick out the pieces that are most relevant for you. And that way you don't have to stress about any pieces that maybe aren't making sense yet today. That's okay. So with that said, let's dive into this very exciting conversation. All right, my friend. Well, we have so many notes that we can choose from because you have done so much sacred communication, which is your channeling that you do every morning for yourself. And so much has come through. So I thought maybe today we would share some of that. What do you think?
Well, I love it. And I so love what you do for all of this because you're so gifted at being able to take the channeling and draw out the nuggets and help us see what's there. And I love that. So
Oh,
forgive me
well,
for
thank
starting
you.
this way, but I need to.
You
So
had to
thanks.
gush a little.
I did. I had to guess at you a little. So there you
Well,
are.
you know what? It's actually a perfect segue to the first piece that I want to share. You were told, so today, as you go about your day with focused intent, see what comes in as it relates to this very important book that we are creating together. And soon, with Debbie's help and input, as she is the roots and the branches of the project of the Tree of Life. And you are the messenger with the staff to transmit information from one dimension or realm of existence to another. It all works together, as above, so below, heaven and earth combined, and living as one. Now, is that not the perfect description of what we are being led to believe that we are doing?
Oh, no, and I feel it and I know it because you are the tree. You are the one who grounds this so beautifully, thus allowing me to be able to just open up and allow the message to flow through me. And we bring it down then to where it makes sense because in truth, we have been told, and I know it to the core of my being, we have the ability to create a reality that we would call heaven on earth. And
Yes.
that's what we're doing in Humadi is creating the reality, the vision of what that is like. And so, yes, I love that. I love that when that message came through and it just resonated.
Yes. It's all so powerful. I feel like it would be lovely if you just shared about how this book is different from Dancing with Angels, which was your first channeled book.
Right.
And this one has a whole different feel to it. Can you just give us a little bit about that?
I would love to. Well, as you know, and I've probably shared before in a sweet tea channeling, I was going through a very dark time in my life that all of us go through. And in meditation, simply said, "Why did this happen, God?" And after a few days of doing that, symbols came in my mind, flowing in my mind, and then words that I knew were not my own. And then I sat down to begin to transcribe it, and this beautiful story emerged. And I
Mhm.
loved channeling in that manner.
Right.
It was if I was a character in an outside story, and it provided me the answer, and I hope provided many people the answer as to why certain things happen. This is completely different. And it's taken me a while to go, wow, cool. Can I do this? Yes, I can do this. I love it. And why this is different is that as opposed to being an outside story running through my mind, it is far more of wisdom nuggets channeling, and the story and the characters coming in and through me with the understanding that I've been given that it is also as part of me, which
Mhm.
is something I know we'll be talking about a lot as the story proceeds, because the magnetic, brilliant energy of the characters that people will come to know are not outside figures to be worshiped, but rather pieces within us that we can magnify. So
Nice.
let's see if you
Yeah.
can explain that now, girl.
Well, one of the things that really stood out for me before, and we've talked about this quite a bit, is that often when a person channels, they kind of step aside, right?
Mhm.
And just let
Right.
that information come through. And this is basically what you were saying, that, like, tell me more, and you're
Yeah.
typing
What's
it
going to
out.
happen next?
Yeah. And what I find really interesting about this one, not having ever been part of a channeled book like this before, but still very interesting to me, is how it's asking you to live it
Mhm.
and to draw on aspects of yourself, but in their purest form.
Oh,
So, without you putting your interpretation on what it is they're saying, because that would always be affected by whatever you have going on
right.
for you. It is all is very, very pure, but it's still an aspect of you.
Yeah, it's that pure consciousness. And I love that you said it because that way. Because when I've written other books, other fiction, what I always tried to do was to imagine how I might react as me, but as this character with these circumstances. So there was sort of a detached thing. Sort of,
Right.
I can look at this person and, okay, given these circumstances, I might react in this way. I'm being asked to do a whole different thing now, which is to really dive into being, feeling, experiencing each character in the book in its purest form with the message, the nuggets, as me in the purest form I can be. Because when we get to that space, being the best versions of ourselves in a moment in our purest form, we really can draw in that brilliant magnetic wisdom energy of those essences we have revered, but they are as pieces of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting. In one of our previous Sweet Tea Treats, you shared about one of the characters coming and joining you for the day, and tapping you on the shoulder and sharing with you that the next level of compassion is this. And
Mhm.
that to me was a really beautiful way to say we're all growing all the time. However, there's always going to be an even purer way of being. And of course, that character is already very pure if you allow it to come through.
Right,
So
right. So
nice. The book is a masterpiece of writing, speech, and of thought, along with an imprint of ideas and truth. It is meant to be both fun and profound, light and dark polarity, but in essence, it is all on the spectrum of the story. So have absolute fun with it and allow the messages to flow. So to me, um, that piece leads really perfectly, I think, to this next one. So if you allow it, you will not only sort of be experiencing each character through your consciousness, but it can be more of a pure essence of them speaking. Very much what we were just discussing. Not what you might imagine them to say. This is profound, and we guess you have not thought of this before.
Right.
Oh, wait, I'm being told do one more before you take off your glasses.
All
So,
right.
how does that feel? To think that when you invoke the character's name, such as Joshua, you are calling in the very essence of the energy you call Jesus, the master teacher, to reveal the truth of the lesson, much like he taught during his lifetime on earth when he spoke to those people gathered around him. Wow.
Wow.
That
Wow.
is a mic drop right there.
It's it is a mic drop, and I absolutely love it because as the characters are coming through me, as I have the privilege to allow the essence of Joshua to come in and speak, I'm loving. It's just so real. It is not what we might imagine speaking, if we could, sitting down with Joshua, Jesus, and saying, okay, tell me all about it, but rather imagining that we're sitting down within the same space, having, oh my gosh, this beautiful rapport, this beautiful conversation, this sure, profound wisdom, but put in such meaningful ways that we all get because we've all lived it, including the character of Joshua that we call Jesus.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, we got some thunder on
Oh,
that
do
one,
you?
right?
No, but it's just, this is real. And so
Yes.
it's perfectly imperfect because it's real.
Yes. And you know what? That is just a beautiful segue actually into what I wanted to talk about. I mentioned in the intro that I had no idea, I had no preconceived idea about what this channeled book was going to be about. I mean, we had just clearly been told that we were going to do something different than we had ever done before, right? And then we've just been kind of feeling our way into that. And of course, the channeling really helps to guide us. So I didn't know, or I hadn't even really thought about what the book was going to be about. And I didn't even catch on immediately that the book was actually about living in Hoomadhi.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I think I had a sense that we were going to learn more about what this means to bring heaven to earth, what this new reality would look like. I was hoping it would help explain more of this wonderful consciousness, but I had no idea as we began to how the journey would begin to unfold, and I'm rather amazed, surprised, and excited how it just keeps coming in ways I didn't
Yes.
imagine. And so, as you know, one of my processes is I absolutely love to channel. I love to take time every day just to allow it to come in. But then sometimes in the evening, when it's been warm enough and I'm sitting out on the patio, I get the nudge just to turn notes on and dictation, and all of a sudden it starts flowing. It's on its own time schedule, if you will.
Yes.
And it's like I'm dictating it, and part of me is going, wow, that's cool. Whoa. So I'm absolutely delighted with how it's flowing, so much so I can't wait to get back to it. And it's really cool. And it's nothing like I might have imagined or expected, because there is no agenda. But the more I dive into it, the more I see it is also showing the state we've been in, and how, as we begin to move into what we're calling Hoomadhi in the story, there's a bit of inner work or inner awareness that takes place first.
I think that what it triggered for me anyway, as your ball bounced against my ball, is the idea that we all have, we're all at different places in our lives, and we've all done things to help create the most beautiful life we can possibly create. But there's so much cleaning and learning and purifying, if you
Mhm.
will, as we go along. And I mean, that is a key part of the book, if you want to share more about that. But I don't think I realized that I mean, I've been cleaning my house
Mhm.
on the outside, and I think it's a metaphor for what I'm doing inside. I've been cleaning out all the little cracks in the corner, right?
Mhm.
And getting deep in there and pulling everything out and going, do I need this? Not really. That can go
Mhm.
now. And that is part, I believe, of living in Humadi.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have been inundated with what I call the gunk of the reality that we have dwelt in, that we are moving out of. But much, if you can imagine, rising up out of a stagnant, murky pond, you just don't rise up out of it and you're pure. You rise up out of it and you need to, ooh, let me clean the gunk off. Let me shower it. The outer that I've been immersed in. And
Yes.
then in our book, what we're discovering is that's the first step. And then as we move forward to living in a whole new consciousness, it's also doing that deep spring cleaning, if you will, to
Yeah.
clean out those pieces of hurt we still carry.
Hmm.
And I love that, because it's then that you can recognize your humanity, heal from it, heal with it, and expand who you really are.
Yes.
One thing I'm learning, and I really had the opportunity to learn it this week, is that living in Humadi is truly living the best version of yourself, but still as a spiritual being having a human experience. It's learning, like you were sharing when I got the little tap on the shoulder from Joshua, but well, you did pretty well. You didn't go into a rage in that one, but there is a next level of compassion. So I'm finding that even living in Humadi every day and loving it, I'm still learning how to do that as a human being, having challenges, fearful incidents, trauma. And I think that's going to be a very important part of our journey together, because this is not an airy fairy thing.
Hmm.
This is not, oh, I'm stepping into a consciousness where everything is perfect and there'll never be another challenge again.
Right.
Rather, I think this book is really going to help all of us understand the next levels of dealing with it.
Yes. I do think that when you're in that Humadi type way of thinking and you've been practicing Humadi, it does seem to have a sense of ease, even going through that rapid, even going through the difficultness. That doesn't mean it's simple, and it doesn't mean that you won't have moments where you go, oops, I slipped out of Humadi there. But I do know in my own circumstance, things really did go as smoothly as they possibly could have in that situation. I think that's part of the the beauty of this book is that it is going to be there to help us. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but I refer to my notes from our sweet tea channeling. I pull them out if I'm feeling like really frustrated by something, which I don't experience really down days, but I have had moments where things have happened that I'm like, oh, I just can't quite get out of this funk. I pick up the book. And I
Yeah.
mean, we haven't even created the book, but these are the nuggets that are going to go into the book. And so I just read some of them and I can instantly feel myself calm and I can feel my heart open. And I just like, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to hang out. Yeah.
Right. And the
Um,
more we do that, the more we get into that alignment of living in the joy and the love and in the state, the more I believe we raise up our consciousness or vibration to be able to connect with even more of it.
yes.
Because I know for me, that's when I can get much better in touch with my master teachers and guides and guidance. And it just feels so much better.
Yes. We are within you. You are within us. We are within the sacred heart of the creator and sustainer of all that is. That is the miracle of life, never to be forgotten. So feel it and play with it. Experience it fully, beginning right now in this moment of the second, for it can and will last through eternity.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. I am actually going to keep this little poster up a little bit longer so people can really read it or take a screenshot of it because it is such a powerful paragraph.
It is. And I'd like to share the visual that I initially got as I started working into this book, working into this channeling, which was really going into sort of a meditative state, getting peaceful and experiencing what it felt like to go into my heart, to go really into not just the outer part, but what it feels like to, if I could walk right through my own heart. And when I did that and felt that, then I was able to see that I was in the heart of the creator, if you will, because that's where I began to see my angels and guides, my We Be It tribe surrounding me and anyone else I might be working with. And that's the visual I saw, that when you go into your own heart, you realize you are in the sacred heart of all that is, the creator, the one life. So I invite people, however they are guided, to visualize that for themselves. It's a wonderful realization that that's where we dwell.
Yes. Yes. And I just want to say for anybody who's listening that is thinking, I can't do that. I've tried. I can't do that. I want you to know I have been playing in this space for a really long time. And I have now realized that, okay, when I can't do that because I struggle with it, I imagine it. I imagine what it is. And sometimes I stop trying to see anything and I just feel.
But
I just try to feel the beauty of it because for whatever reason, my third eye is not letting me see it. And I don't want you to feel like that is somehow disqualifying you
oh,
from
beautiful.
doing it. And I think that that is going to be a really big and beautiful part of this book is that it's going to be again and again gentle ways of guiding you to that space. Remember the wisdom as expressed by Joshua, Mimi, Maggie, and Finn are all within you. And those are the characters in the book. We are speaking but through you. That means we are inside of and with you always. For that is the temple of the Sacred Heart that goes far beyond physical bodies and temples. It is the Sacred Heart of the Divine. Remember that, please, as we explore together. And so that is what you were just talking about. But this is one of the one of the many nuggets that have come through your channeling, just to say, hey, this is really important that you understand this.
I find that to be so powerful because it's giving me the sense and the knowing that we do dwell, all of us together, one life, different aspects of the one life, in a shared sacred space. And it's like the essence of all the wisdom is almost there for us to grab in, take in, and make part of us. Not just to come in and then go out, but it's part of us. Whatever we choose, whatever resonates with us, is because it is us. It
Yes.
is that part of us that we are now recognizing. And it's also that for me, the beautiful thing that I've learned, or I am learning, is that all that we revere and admire in someone outside of us that we can see and we can admire and we can drink in actually is a part of us that we can then share as part of us, if that makes sense at all. So
Mm-hmm.
it's more like that which I've grown up revering, let's say, of the character who Joshua is not just a figure who attains something that, wouldn't that be wonderful to be able to live like that, but rather, hey, people, go inside because it's there, it's
Mm-hmm.
within you. It's that magical essence that we
Yes.
all share, that you can look at in yourself and say, that is me.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
find
how
that
do I bring that piece of myself to the forefront? How do I
exactly.
live that part of me more?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. These nuggets are very important in being created because it's the part of the book where we share how to live, how to do what we're doing with you today, about your own ability, just like we have, just like we had, or were portrayed to have. Okay, that's all going to sound confusing to the average listener. Um, just like it is already in your soul, because we are part of your soul to do the same thing now in Humadi. Now, my guess, because even as I read this, I can see how people might be going, what? Or that didn't quite land for me. And that's okay. Don't even worry about that part of it. But feel into that part that these pieces that are coming through in Sweet Tea Channeling are the parts that are going to help us all to live in Humadi. And then let me close with this piece. The nuggets are a very important part of what is going in the book. So we would ask that you continue this. We love it. And we ask that you just allow it to evolve into whatever format it wants. We love what you're doing with having the nuggets become meaningful to you to share, because that is all part of Humadi and the book.
I'd like to say something about all that.
Please do.
Yes. Uh, One of the reasons that I so love having the opportunity and the honor to channel this is because even people listening right now, once they heard the word Jesus, might be going, no, please, gosh, because of what humans have done to the message and how it's become distorted or used. And a lot of people have a great aversion to those words, Jesus, Mother Mary. And that's why what I've been told is that this is such a beautiful opportunity to bring the messages of wisdom and guidance through as purely as possible without all that. In other words, that's why you can call the characters whatever you like. I love Joshua, Mimi, and Maggie, just because it's the message that's real, not the distortion of what people think the characters are, or any of their interpretation, if that makes sense. So I think that's sort of what the nugget was saying, is that it's that we're bringing through the nuggets for people to just take the message and the wisdom as it relates for them to them, as to
Mhm.
how to live in a consciousness that really is bringing the best it can be into the world.
Yes. And and with this, you've already kind of touched on this, but I just want to drive the point home. The essence is the key piece. It's the essence of the message. And when Susan channels, we all hear it and we all interpret it through
Right.
our own filters.
Correct.
Then, she transcribes it, and then I take it and I try to pull out the nuggets in a way that allows it to make sense to me and really grounds in. And then Susan and I share it, and we might refine some of those pieces. And then when that nugget goes in the book, it might be refined even further, because what we're doing is we're slowly pulling and diving down to the essence of the message.
Right.
What's the most important thing that's going to sing with the greatest number of hearts?
Exactly.
So what would you like to share with us about the conversation we've been having around the book?
I am right here with you. As Susan is seeing Joshua, Mimi, Meg, Finn, all of us, the essence of the energy is right here within her heart and within your heart, if you allow it to be. So, what we would like you to know is yes, we will be creating this together as we recognize the pieces that resonate within each one of us, because it is all good, it is all wisdom, and it will all be remembered by each person in a different way, in a different manner, as it is needed for evolving one step at a time, just into the next beautiful brilliance of you. That's what we would like you to know. It's not the brilliance of us, meaning the characters you call Joshua, Mimi, and Maggie. It is the brilliance of you, empowered to be you, sharing whatever wisdom we bring that causes you to remember the wisdom within you. You are the sanctuary, each one of you. You are the truth and the light. And your mission, quite simply, is to shine it, to know it, to be it, and to share it in whatever manner works best for you with other people, to help them recognize that within themselves. And can you not imagine what a beautiful reality we would share together if we each knew we were simply sitting in a circle with one another, just shining the light on each other to turn their own inner candle up to share with one another? That's what we would like you to know. Ah, for me, it feels like we're inside of ourselves, having the best campfire circle we could imagine.
Mhm. Yes, sitting around it with a group of people with whose hearts are so open. They just want to laugh and share
Mhm.
and be together and feel the essence of each other in that circle. I mean, it is like the ultimate retreat where you come home from it and you are just
Mhm.
on cloud nine and you're just coming home and thinking, wow, I feel so good, so strengthened, so empowered.
Yeah. And what if coming home means coming into the circle in a real reality that this is how we learn to view one another? Wow.
And really learning how to carry that with you. I love that you said that. That whole carrying it with you into your day, because how often do you go and do something where you do feel really empowered, really strengthened, and then you get back to life and it's like, oh, really?
Mhm.
I got to wait another 6 months or a year or 5 years until I get to do that again because I've already lost it. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
What
How
if
do
we
you
could
bring
live
it
it?
with you?
Well, yeah. What if we could just live it? What if that retreat is not somewhere we go,
Yeah.
but rather something we are every day as we live with one another?
Yeah. The retreat is inside.
Yeah,
It's there,
exactly.
right inside us.
Yeah.
Part of your current problem in Earth reality is that people tend to listen so much to the voices of others that they can't hear what is right inside of them. Yet that truly is all that is and all that matters. So it would not serve you or anyone else to form a true community of Humadi before you complete the inner sanctuary process and know this is right for you. Okay. Anything you want to say about that?
Oh, lots I'd love to say. One of the most profound things I'm learning in the process is that every bit of the wisdom is in us. And that what we're doing is helping each other unlock that for themselves in whatever way it resonates. So the wisdom is not outside of ourselves, it's all of it right here. Much like that old visual of, what is it? You're not merely a wave in the ocean. You're in every single wave. You hold the ocean. I kind of butchered
Yeah.
that, but I think you get what I mean.
Yeah.
We are the one life. We are it, and so it is doing the clearing work in your own inner outer sanctuary to be able to go in and get in touch with the wisdom that's already there. It's just this other gunk kind of becomes the voice we listen to, so much so it's louder than that small voice inside of us that says, you know it, you can feel it, you know the truth. So
Yes.
that's what, and to me, I think that's astounding to think about because we've kind of been taught to believe that it's everyone else who has the wisdom.
I,
All the idols we've worshipped in the past and even the gurus now, they got the wisdom. And if I just listen, maybe I'll get it.
yeah.
Mm-mm, it's
Mm.
already here.
I
Oh,
love that.
I
I
do
love that so
too.
much. And I think that it is so important we realize, like Susan and I, as you might have noticed, we're so not perfect. And we don't want to even pretend to be perfect because that's not what this is about. We are not here as experts to say to you, this is what you need to do, or even to say to you, you need to live in Humadi.
Right.
This is about creating something that we've been guided. Apparently, we have come here in this lifetime to create that says, how do we empower you to figure out how to access your wisdom, how to go deeper within you because you are incredible,
Yeah.
and how do we help you to really believe that simply by believing that about ourselves. How
Right.
do we do that? And that's what this is. That's what the book is. That's what these channelings are, these videos are. Everything we do is coming from that place, not that
Mhm.
we know better than you.
Right.
So I love that you said that. Um, and other than the ocean drip
Right.
cave piece,
That's why I need to Debbie put
it
it in
was
the.
perfect. Ready to join us live on these calls? Send us an email at info.hoomadhi, that's HOOMADHI, @gmail.com. We'd love to have you play with us.